Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are now listening to That Infernal Noise podcast, part of the Mental Health News Radio Network. Fuck yeah. So, what's been going on?
You're probably better to answer that than me. I've been pretty detached from reality all week.
Mm-hmm. You have? Would you like to?
It's just same shit, different day. Trying to... Excuse me. Mexican food from lunch. It's just trying to... I don't know. Find the new normal, I guess. It's been somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
To say the least.
To say the least. I know that, we just started the new year, and if anybody can hear our whining ass dogs in the background, they're fine. They're not being abused. But I know that we're
They
starting.
wanted to go to bed, and now they are not happy
Now
that
they're
they're in bed.
whining. Assholes.
Anyway.
I know that it has been extremely trying to find a new normal and to find some resemblance of this is how life is now. But I have noticed, and I've been trying to check in on you more than I already do, which is already a lot.
Sorry about that.
No, I don't want you to apologize. It's just I worry, because I know that you are not I know that in moments you tell me, well, that you do that for me. You just have me talk. That doesn't work for you.
No, that doesn't. It really doesn't.
And it pisses me off.
If I feel like I have something to talk about, I talk.
And it pisses me off.
But if I don't know what to talk about, I don't just start talking because I don't know where it's going to fucking go. And not in the way where I start figuring shit out, in the way that everything just starts spinning out of control. That's
Fair.
why I don't do it.
Fair. But that's why it irritates me when you use that against me, when you're like, well, I make you talk.
I spend my time spinning out of control on a regular basis. You do not. You spend your time trying to get away from everything, so you need to spin out. Because you need to get everything out. Everything is just constantly going in my fucking head. And that's the difference. Because I'm constantly dealing with it.
Same, but I just don't talk about it.
But that's what it is. It's like, you need to spin out. I don't need to spin out, because if I spin out, my shit goes left quickly.
Well.
You don't go left the same way. You get sad. You get depressed.
Yeah, and you don't do well with people making you talk, but then you get mad at me for not making you talk.
I haven't tripped on that in a while, actually. What?
Shaking my head?
That looks sarcastic whenever you did it like that.
I
haven't been doing it as much, put it that way.
Yes.
I used to do it all the time. I don't do it as much anymore.
Yes.
Because I am trying to get better about that, but it's just, I don't know.
Do you feel like you're stopping yourself from finding a new normal right now?
Yes and no. Because, I don't want to, clearly. I want everything to just be calm, but on the other hand, I'm not preventing myself from doing anything. You know what I mean? Because before, whenever I would shut down,
you would. Okay.
I would recluse and you guys go do this. I'm staying home.
Yes.
And the last place I want to be is home.
Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that
is a big step,
a positive
and a big
step forward, because instead of me reclusing, I'm trying to at least do more,
still be around people.
Yeah. New Year's was a bad fucking idea, but that was a bad idea because of me, not because of anybody else.
Yeah.
It's I was just in a fucked up headspace that entire day, and then it just got worse as the night went on.
Yeah.
And that wasn't anybody's fault, and everybody could see it, and I felt bad, but it was just one of those things. It's just, I don't know, it's the first holiday outside of Christmas. But Christmas, it was so fresh.
Yeah.
And I know New Year's is only a week later, but we had so much other shit to occupy ourselves. New Year's, there wasn't anything to occupy
Everything was already
anything.
done, and
Yeah, and we were just waiting for everything, basically.
yeah, everything was just kind of in limbo.
And our routine wasn't the same because the kids weren't in school and
Yeah.
all of that shit. So it, I don't know. It was a perfect storm of bullshit.
I agree. Do you feel that talking has been helping, or because I know it can get old, or
I'm not worried about that part of it, to be honest. Like, I talk whenever I need to talk.
yeah.
Like the other day, we had the conversation that we had, and I was explaining shit to you. It's
Yeah.
just like, what was it, yesterday?
It was yesterday.
God,
Yeah.
days are all fucked up.
Same.
But, I mean, whenever I feel like there's an issue, I try to talk
Yeah.
because I don't want it to consume me. Like everything's been consuming me. So,
I just worry because and it is incredibly normal that you're acting like this or reacting like this. So it's
but
not.
I'm not reacting like I used to either.
Agreed.
And that's, I think, the biggest
Growth.
victory for
Hell
me.
yeah.
Well, I don't know about growth.
It
but
is growth. It is growth.
It's not as disheartening, I guess, because I'm not dealing with shit and treating people like shit at the same time.
That's fair.
So then I have to deal with that shit and how, you know what I mean?
You have
Like,
to feel sad and guilty.
yeah, and it's just I don't want to do, and I still feel guilty occasionally because obviously I don't react the greatest all the time, but it's usually pretty quick now where it's just like I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm talking about like hours, if
Yeah.
that. So as opposed
There
to
are-
the days that it would take before for me to just sit in that funk. I don't know why I said fuck right there.
Hey, I mean,
But I mean, it's just I don't know.
because I know I get tired of talking about the same thing, even if it's fucking with me, like, again and again and again. I feel I do agree with you in that talking about it makes it lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. But I don't want you to ever feel that you can't just stop me and, be like, hey.
Well, that's why I stopped you yesterday. I was just like, hey, I'm going with you. Wait for me. Whenever we went to go pick up the kids, because I knew I needed to get out of the house first off. Second off, I knew I just needed to start talking about something.
And that's why I was trying to gently, hey, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about right now? What's that sigh for kind of thing? But I don't want to.
I'm not taking that personal or getting irritated with shit like that right now because I know that I'm not the best judge of myself at this particular moment. I know I'm aware of that. But on the plus side, today, going out to see Sis, Aaron, and the kids,
Yeah.
like, I didn't hesitate. There was no, well, maybe. No, like, no. Like, I'm fucking going. I've been looking forward to this. I'm doing this.
Yes.
Want to see my niece perform. But we had a good time. She was adorable, of course. And seeing Sis and Aaron and Julie, Jay, and Tyler, and all that, like, hanging out with Grandpa and all that stuff, like, it was normalcy, sort of.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at the same time because of
We're missing a person.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just a weird headspace to be in right now.
Very bittersweet.
Where it's like, yeah, we are doing these things, and next weekend we got our cousins get together and all that shit, which I'm also looking forward to.
Which I need to
and
send a text message
Royal
today.
Rumble is also next weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
So, but I mean, I don't know. It's just odd right now. That's the only way I can describe it.
Oh, yeah. Do you feel that old, older, like negative, unhealthier ways to deal with things are trying to
Yes and no.
fuck with you more.
Because there's certain things like what we were talking about yesterday
Mm-hmm.
that obviously is starting to rear its head. But like the alcohol, I haven't even like I thought about having a drink last weekend, but I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, eh. And it wasn't even like an overwhelming need to. It was just a well maybe, and then I was just like, I don't feel like it.
Because I know that, during traumatic events and especially during loss and grief, that's, when addicts relapse. That's when,
And I am relapsing in a certain sense because we bought a pack of Black and Milds today because I was just like, fuck it, I need something.
honestly, and I will say this, and someone is probably somewhere is going to call me an ableist
No, my
or
therapist is. I bet you my therapist said the exact same thing. Continue.
I would much rather you. It's kind of like when they tell you when you're dieting, and I think I referenced this earlier, when you're dieting, if you get those cravings, you can have a little bit of the thing. You don't have to fucking
Go
gorge and
crazy.
binge, but you can have a little bit of the thing, especially in this situation. This is a get you get to eat
And
cake for breakfast in this
that's
situation kind
sort
of
of
thing.
what my therapist was saying. She was just like, you need whatever you need to do right now in moderation to get you through this so you're not just white knuckling.
Yeah.
She was like, that's okay. You just need to have it in your head that this is not a permanent thing.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I
know it's not a permanent thing, but I still didn't want to cross that line.
Yeah, and I do understand that there are certain things that I would not be okay with. You're just like, oh, I'm using this to cope. I'm just, you know, if, heroin is not a release
I
valve.
I would never do drugs again.
I know. I'm just
I
saying that there's
have
levels.
like I don't even want to take my fucking edibles right now.
That's fair.
Like legitimately, I don't. And it's not even a fear thing like it was before. It's
Yeah.
just I don't feel like it's helping. I feel like it's making shit worse. And if it feels like shit's making it worse, I'm
There's no
not
point
doing it
right
right
now.
now.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm not saying I'm never going to do my edibles again or whatever.
Because that's a lie.
That I'm sure it's a lie, but as of right now, like it's not helping me. So why am I going to do it? But getting outside, smoking a little bit of a Black and Mild, and going about my day, it seemed to help.
Yeah.
And as fucked up as that is, and I'm not happy about it because I fucking hate smoking, but
Yeah.
it I'm doing what helps me right now.
Yeah.
What helps me get through the day.
It's not. I mean, yes, it is quote unquote. I can't say quote unquote. It can be detrimental to your health in the long run. We all know
I'm
that.
well aware of that, and I am at this point I'm taking that risk, and I understand that, especially with how my brain's working right now, and like I know I'm not doing myself any favors in that arena, but it's the one thing that has been soothing me, I guess.
and and I'll say this to anybody, and and you've heard me tell this to people. I've said it to you. I would much rather you smoke a Black and Mild or cigarette, whatever, than drink.
Everybody that knows me should say that,
I
to be
agree.
completely honest,
I agree.
because anybody that I've drank any amount of time with knows that it goes from fun Bobby to fuck you Bobby really quick. And everybody that I've been around that I love, that I care about, has seen that flip and had that flip on them, with the exception of the kids. The kids saw me get emotional, but I never
Yeah.
lashed out at them while I was drunk,
Yeah.
luckily.
Yeah.
But it was still fucked up because they didn't need to see the other part of it, the angry, the violent, the overly emotional,
Yeah.
freaking out about everything, whatever the fuck. They didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
So luckily they didn't, but everybody else did. And I've told everybody that I've ever cared about, as like adults and friends, to fuck themselves at some point because I was drunk or
Yeah.
tried to fight them or whatever the fucking situation is. And I'm not
Seen it.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I care about the people that I care about, and I'm not going to let anything get in the way of that anymore. And alcohol is the biggest thing that gets in the way for me.
Yeah.
And I can't do it. And I have no desire to, luckily.
Yay. That does make me happy. Like,
Because
Really, really
I
happy.
was really worried about that on the onset. Whenever all this shit happened, I was like, "Fuck! I hope I don't start drinking again. I cannot do that."
Yeah.
And then I thought about the last time I drank, which was Gabriel's birthday, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't want to do that." And I
Mm-mm.
wasn't even like that fucked up.
I was.
I know you were, but it just like I even the level that I was like, I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
don't
nothing
know.
against him or anything, or I'm like not like holding it against him or whatever,
Oh
because
yeah,
he was the
no.
one feeding drinks. Fucking asshole.
He does that shit on purpose,
Yeah, he
though.
does. But it's just like I got nothing for that anymore. I really don't. It's
I
not fun. I don't enjoy it.
Not even a little bit. I'm using the camera as a mirror while we're talking because my hair was doing a thing. Yeah, I don't like the thought of the way that alcohol makes me feel. Not even like the hungover part or like the blackout or like the fucked up feeling.
Disorientation.
Just the regular feeling of alcohol makes
I
me
don't under. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like I don't understand how I functioned like that
mm-mm,
at all, and it was
mm-mm.
like it was so normal for me. Like
It was so normal for all of
it
us.
didn't feel out of place, and now I even feel a little bit like that, and I start freaking the fuck out
Yeah. It causes anxiety. It's like,
because
wait,
like
where
I
is this
had
coming
what
from?
it was like. Was it New Year's like last year or the year before or something? I had a couple of shots and I started feeling a little off. I don't even remember what it was for. I don't even think it was New Year's. It was something though.
I don't remember.
It was Chris's graduation. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was just like, oh. And I immediately started apologizing. I was like, I don't fucking like this. I am sorry that. And you were just like, you're fine. You're
You're
literally
okay.
fine.
You're okay.
Like, you're
Yeah.
not drunk. You're not being belligerent. And just like, just don't drink anymore. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an option.
Well, I mean, for a long time, it wasn't an
Well, for
option.
people who struggle with, well, anybody who's addicted to anything, like, stopping's an option. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And now I'm to the point where I could have a beer, I could have a shot, and just be like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I don't want to, but like I'll have a beer with Gabriel occasionally. I think we had one. What was it?
Last weekend, I think.
No, I didn't have one last weekend.
When was it then? Sunday?
No,
Monday. Monday. Dinner. We went over for
I didn't
dinner.
have a beer that day.
You didn't?
No,
Oh, well, never mind then.
I think it was. I think it might have been New Year's. Yeah, it was New Year's that I had. I had a beer with him, and that was a
Well,
one. And even that, I was just like, ugh.
yeah. Mm-mm.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm all over the place right now, and I'm trying to mitigate the damage best as I can,
Yeah.
I guess. And I'm not happy about smoking, but I'll fucking take that over
It is the lesser of all evils.
disassociating
Yeah.
every other way possible or fucking myself up. I'm surprised my liver hasn't jumped out of my body.
I mean,
I'm
that's fair.
being honest. It was bad. It was real bad for a very long time. Like, I shouldn't have started my drinking career at 14. And I'm not talking about like, oh, we had a shot. I'm talking about going to school fucked up out of my mind drunk. That shouldn't be a sentence that's said.
Yeah.
And I started smoking before that. I was like, no, that's not how this shit's supposed to work.
We were raised differently.
But I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't raised around alcoholics or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense for you, I guess. Well, no, because you grew up around addicts. I didn't grow up around a whole lot of fucking addicts. I grew up like the periphery, like people that I knew, friends, shit like that. That part I knew, but in the house it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Grandpa drank more whenever I was little, but I never saw him drunk.
Oh, it wasn't like a belligerent.
No, like he would drink every weekend with like his brother-in-law and one of my cousins. Well, it was mom and them's cousin, so it's like my second cousin or whatever.
Yeah.
I used to call him uncle, I think. But they would like hang out in the back, play pool, and
Drink
drink or
beers.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it wasn't ever anything horrendous. You know, I'd hang out with Dawn and Rusty and Bernice and Mom
Mm-hmm.
for like New Year's and stuff. And even then, there wasn't a whole lot. Like, they would drink,
Yeah.
but I don't remember anything fucking crazy from any of that either.
That's good. That really is good.
And then Tyler and I, as we grew up, then shit got fucking. God, the last time I saw him, Mandy was pregnant with Chris. Whitney was pregnant with her oldest.
Yeah.
And he and I got fucking tore up. I mean, we were fucked up. Like, we were in the pool of Don's apartment complex, and I got out of the pool and thought I was still in the pool.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, I don't remember the back half of that fucking night. That's how drunk we were.
Gross. I don't miss it.
I don't either.
Ugh. Like I don't.
And that, I was not even 20 yet
Oh yeah.
because Chris wasn't born.
Yeah.
And I turned 20 4 days before Chris was born.
Yep.
So I was still 19 at the time.
Oof.
And Tyler was younger than that. And I was just like, fuck, man. Like, all of this shit.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
And I started drinking when I didn't start drinking, like drinking until like 14, 15. I started like, I tried or started drinking alcohol at 13. and I started smoking when I was 15. So it's same boat, you know, it's just, I don't know. Just the way we were raised.
Yeah, that didn't do us any fucking favors.
No. So that's why I ask, because in times of extreme stress, you know, those habits and those cravings and the willpower usually can become weaker in those moments. So I just figured I'd ask if there's any.
Well, outside of what we were talking about yesterday, I mean, that's pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah.
It goes a little bit deeper than that, but nothing. I would never cross any lines, put it that way. Does that make sense?
Yes. I would hope so. I would really fucking hope so.
I've never cheated on you, and I'm not going to start. Let's just leave it at that. I don't give a fuck what the circumstances are.
I appreciate that.
Women were my vice at one point,
I know.
and I can see it being a slippery slope, but again, it's like the alcoholism. It's just like, why would I fuck up everything that I've worked for at this point?
You're like,
Not
I've
saying
made it this far.
Not saying that fucking twitch doesn't come in the back of my fucking head where it's just like, motherfucker. But it's not the same anymore. It's like, I'm not a kid anymore. Like, there's consequences to shit. And I, for the longest time, didn't think there were any consequences for anything I did. Because I was that
That's a young man.
delusional.
It's a young man's mindset, though.
Well, even if there were consequences, I'd be like, fuck you. Like,
Young man's mindset.
I can do what I want. I'm fucking grown.
Yeah, that's why I still don't understand why children in our country can sign up to go shoot at other people.
That's why.
I know.
That's exactly why.
I know.
Because they're young and impressionable and they can be brainwashed.
Which is sad.
And I'm not saying some people wouldn't do it anyway. I'm not arguing that, but
Let's have our brain fucking.
It needs to be fully formed before you make a commitment like that.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Agreed.
But that's just me.
Agreed.
Not getting into a socio-political debate about that.
And no judgment for anybody who is in.
No, it's
or
no
has
judgment.
served.
I've known plenty of good people that did it.
So many.
Like, I'm fine with it. It's just, for me, I see a lot of holes in that system.
Same.
I see a lot of holes in a lot of systems right now.
Also
especially.
same. Oof. Bitch. God. So, yes. So many holes in so many fucking systems that we have going, that are set in place. But that's unfortunately what we have to deal with right now. It's just, there's no, we have literally no other choice.
Well aware.
With,
I feel like you're interviewing me, by the way.
I know,
Sorry. It just dawned on me for whatever reason.
that was the point. I'm glad you finally caught on, though.
At least it wasn't after.
Yeah. Be like, oh, wait, that was a whole interview, wasn't it? Could you imagine?
Yeah, I've done shit like that, so yeah, I can.
Oh, fuck. Do you feel that like the things that we've put in place thus far of trying to make a new normal, trying to figure out a future where we have things to look forward to instead of having to continue to dwell, because it's still sad. It's still sad every single day. It
I
is.
mean, I still think about like Boog and Kev and Tyler all
Yeah.
the time. You know, it's like that hasn't stopped,
Yeah.
and I know it's not going to. It's just I don't. I guess I don't blame myself anymore.
That's good. Because
Necessary. I mean, there's still times where it's just like fuck, maybe, but I can't let myself dwell on it because it doesn't matter now. It really doesn't. Because
there's zero that can change it.
yeah, like I can't change anything.
Yeah.
And that's the same way I'm trying to look at it with mom. Like what difference would I have made in that situation?
None.
You know, because by the time I got over there, it might have been too late anyway.
And then-
It probably would have been just based on timelines and shit like that. So it's just like, and then what? I'm the one that finds her by myself.
And then
And you see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
and I'm sorry that Maria and Karina had to be the ones to do it. I really am. That sucks to see your sister and aunt in that fashion. Like, I can't imagine that. I don't want to imagine it.
Yeah. It was
Like,
bad
but-
enough when we saw.
And I'm not a fan of that memory, but it is what it is. And it's just like all we could do is like I try to be as not receptive, but like sympathetic towards them as possible and just let them know, hey, you know, you want to talk my ear off for a little bit, go for it.
Yeah.
You need to vent, whatever. Like,
Do you feel that the changes that we've like already put in place and that we're trying to do, and do you think those will stick and that those will help?
I can't let them not. They have to stick because I'm going to be miserable if they don't, to be completely honest. Like, I have to do these things because like I still hold it against myself that 1 year that I missed Crystal's birthday. I hold that against myself to this day because I just was having a bad mental day and I missed my sister's birthday because of it. And that is the single biggest memory that prevents me from bailing on shit right now. Because I don't want that to be the thing that sticks in her head if something happens to me.
Yeah.
I want her, Aaron, the kids, my cousins, all of that shit to know that if he had a way to be there, he would have fucking been there.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to be for everybody. Like, I want to be the big brother, not just to my sister, but to all of them, to where they know that if some shit's going down or they need something or they just want me there for something, I'm gonna fucking be there.
Yeah.
Because it means something to me. It means something to me because it means something to them. It's the same thing I told the kids.
I don't have to
Like-
be interested in whatever it is.
And I end up getting interested in whatever the fuck it is anyway. Because it means something to the people I care about.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give a fuck about theater before Kaylee.
I know.
I didn't.
I know.
She took it personally. But then she understood,
It
as
later.
she's gotten older, she understood what that meant because she's got to deal with her cousins getting excited about shit. And you saw her today, as a matter of fact, with Liv. Just talking about shit. Just like, oh my God. Like, it's the same shit.
Yes.
It's like you love somebody, so you care about it. Like, I start critiquing performances and shit now because I got so into it because of Kay. And it's not going to stop.
I know.
You know, but it's just, that's what I want to be for everybody. I want to be the guy that if they have good news, they want to share it with me because they know that I'm going to get just as fucking excited about it as they are.
Yeah.
Or whatever the situation is, you know, and just shit like that. That's the shit that really I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I can't not let that happen.
Yeah. I do enjoy those times too. My favorites are, am I tripping?
Yeah, bitch, you're tripping.
Bitch, yes. Or, am I wrong in this? Girl, no, you are not wrong. Oh, they said what now?
Shit.
Oh, you're a better person than me. I don't know how many times I've said that one. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyone who's watching the video, just don't pay me any mind. I feel lopsided. And I'm going to be lopsided for the rest of this fucking video. Anyway. Gosh, she's so loud. Are there any things that you want to try to do? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kick you. That you want to try to do or try to start?
I've got a whole list of shit on Skillshare right now.
For you personally?
For me personally, that I want to do because I've spent so long not doing all of those things that I've been wanting to fucking learn how to play guitar since I was a child. And I'm not talking about like a teenager. I'm talking a child.
Yeah.
Like 3rd grade, whenever I first discovered like Metallica and shit.
Nice.
That's how long I've wanted to be a guitarist because of fucking Kirk Hammett.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like, well, fuck, I gotta get a guitar first. But
yeah, wow.
But I'm seriously gonna do all of that. It's like, why am I waiting? Because I'm not gonna be good enough, or what? I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I want to do shit that I've been wanting to do. You know, it's just I want to do creative shit. I want to do art shit. Well, art shit, like my art shit, music, fucking
art's subjective. Whatever art, whatever
podcasting,
medium,
like because I do the majority of the all of the graphics now for the podcast and stuff like that, and like I like doing shit like that.
Because I offered and you were like, "No, I got it," and I was like, okay.
Because I wanted to learn how to do it. That's all it boiled down to. It was like I wanted to learn how to do it and learn how to make something that I like.
Yeah,
that is really the crux of it. And it's like, and it's Corey Taylor.
You want to make shit that you
I like. Yeah. Like he doesn't make music for everybody else. He makes music that he wants to hear, and that's how he put it. And it's just fair. It's the same thing with Kevin Smith. He didn't make movies for everybody else. He made movies
for him and
that
his friends.
He wanted to see him and his friends represented.
Yeah,
like those are two of my biggest influences in life. Period.
This is fair. This is very true.
So it's just like, why don't I do that? Like, I'm not going to be a filmmaker because I could not deal with that fucking headache or like wrangling everybody and all that shit. I couldn't do that. I could write a treatment or like a screenplay, I'm sure, because I'm fairly coherent at writing, but I couldn't do the other part of it. Yeah. It's like I could write the screenplay, but I'm not doing the producing and the directing and all of that fucking bullshit. And there's been like almost every single Kevin Smith movie was like, that's exactly what I would have done. That's exactly how I would have done that.
Yeah.
And it was like watching Clerks 3. I told you exactly what was going to happen at the beginning of the movie, even though it didn't look like that's what was going to happen. And I was just like, bam, I fucking knew it.
It was true. That is true.
And I was proud of that because like, that's how my brain works. It's like, I think outside the box. I've been watching wrestling my entire life. It's like, if you think it's going this way, I'm going to swerve you.
Yeah.
And you're going to think that that's it until the moment that it's not. And then it's and that's why I liked Red State. I won't ever watch that movie again because it's so intense.
So
but
good though.
It's the same principle. And the way he described it in writing it is like, once you thought you knew where it was going, I turned.
Yeah.
And he did it every time until he backed himself into a fucking corner.
That was funny. That's
And
a
I
funny
still
story.
wish he had done the alternate ending,
I
because that would
agree.
have been so fucking
I
cool.
agree.
And it would have made sense in the View Askew universe, but that I'm not getting into that. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother thing.
And we could do a whole other podcast on Kevin Smith alone.
On each of his movies.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because Mallrats is me and my friends. Like, that.
Yeah.
That's how we grew up. I was a combination of TS and Brody.
Fair.
More TS. Gabriel was more Brody.
I can see that.
But Gabriel was a combination of Brody and TS, and Jimmy was a combination of Brody and TS. So it's just like, it was, we were all these weird amalgamations of Kevin Smith characters.
That's fair.
And we got like different parts of each of them. It's odd.
Fair.
Sometimes I was the Shannon from Fashionable Male. Not happy about that one.
Hey, it happens. Do you feel like you're...
Like the back of a Volkswagen?
Yes.
Sorry. Every time I think of Affleck in that movie, that's what pops into my head.
Yes. Do you feel that all of this is motivating you to be like to find shit that you like, or
But see, that's the thing. I thought I didn't know what I liked for the longest fucking time. I knew what I liked. I just made excuses for not liking it, or for not wanting to do it, or not having the motivation to do it, or da 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 da, whatever bullshit you want to throw in there. Because I know what I like. I've always loved music. I've written more music than some active fucking artists.
that's fair.
You tell me I'm fucking lying.
That's fair.
You saw how many fucking different songs I had written over the course of time, and I had just dead stopped at one point, and there was still hundreds. Hundreds.
I know.
And I'm not saying I'm better than any of them. I am not saying that in the slightest.
Oh,
I'm
I
just
know.
saying that it meant something to me at one point.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, it was
And-
an important part of your life.
And it still is, but it just, I had other shit to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from everybody else that is able to do it. I knew personally I had to focus on my career in order to my professional career, as opposed to the music career, to
Because you were
do
the sole
the things
provider.
for my, like, to give them a better life.
Yeah.
And like to not have them not want, but where they don't need to want, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
That they understand certain things and they have certain creature comforts that otherwise they wouldn't have been able to.
That's fair.
That's just me, though. Because I didn't want to be one of those artists, and I've seen a bunch of them that don't have relationships with their kids. And it breaks my heart, and you can tell that it bugs them. And I've had conversations with some of them about it.
Yeah, but those are choices.
And that's the thing. It's like they focus on that part, and that's fine for them, but you could tell it wears on them. And I knew that I was not
going
built
to
that
want
way.
to deal
I
with
couldn't
that.
be built that way
That's
because of how I grew up without a dad.
Yeah.
And I was not doing that to my fucking kids. And
Yeah.
I almost did it anyway because of my fucking alcoholism and womanizing. So it's just like, I can't imagine having any level of fame or
notoriety
notoriety in the music industry whenever I was already that fucked up without it.
Oh.
Like, can you imagine the shit show I would have been?
I don't want to.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Because I was living a rock star lifestyle, not being a rock star. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. And then everybody calls bullshit. Like, professionally, people have called bullshit. And I'm just like, okay, just ask my wife, ask my ex-wife, ask any of my friends, and tell me that I'm wrong. Because I under-exaggerate shit. Because I don't like tooting my own horn. It's not a badge of honor to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucked up. Like, I was hurting a lot of people for a very long time. I'm not proud of it, but I've lived a life that a lot of people want to. Because they don't know better. And I do. And I don't want to live like that anymore.
That makes me happy.
Well, it turned into one of those things that I knew that, it's going to sound so stupid, or it's going to sound cliche. I was trying to fill a void.
It's all we all. It's not cliche. It's fact. It's
It's still cliche because that's what everybody says. That doesn't mean it's not right.
it's fact. Whatever. But like, you chose to live that way. Like when I was sad, for what, a year and a half, whatever, a hoe bag. That's not who I am. That's not who I am authentically. That's never who I was before all of my pain and all of that shit. And that's how, for some reason, my brain was like, that's a good idea. It wasn't.
I don't think it thought it was a good idea. It was like, fuck it, what else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I think it's more that.
Because you know me, I was never that. I was never...
the promiscuous.
Yeah, that's just not me. That is not me. And it was for a while, but you know? So
my hoe phase was considerably longer than yours.
oh, I know. Did you think I was like trying to compare hoe phases? Well, I love you with my whole heart. But I know.
Yeah, I wasn't a great person.
You know what? We all make mistakes. We all live. The purpose and the point of all of this nonsense and all of this bullshit that we put up with on the daily is to change how we deal with those and to no longer be the piece of shit we once were.
It's an everyday struggle.
But
days like today
make it easier
to see my kids, my sister's kids, and like everybody just sitting around eating, laughing, having a good time.
Yeah.
Like that's all I can ask for at this point. It's like my priorities have completely fucking changed from 20 years ago.
My priorities have changed from last year.
Well, I'm not saying that because my priorities have been that for a very long time. It's just I didn't know how to do it.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I still don't know how to do it, but I'm figuring it the fuck out.
Same.
And I'm doing everything I can to figure it out because that's what I want. And
I
know that's what I want.
And I really hope that we get to make the changes that we've been talking about, because I think that will enrich our lives on not necessarily a day-to-day basis.
But the carryover is day to day. That's the point.
Yeah.
Because the frequency and all that stuff is more, so you're charging your batteries more often as opposed to not as often.
I feel, and the reason why is because it's like we'll be able to build a village. And that's why I feel, and this is why I said I don't think there's a lot this city has left for us, because
we've lived here the majority of our lives.
Yeah.
Or in this Tri-City area.
Yeah.
Tri-City. Dallas, Garland, Mesquite.
Yeah. And
I have lived here my entire life. Like,
and I haven't.
But the majority of your life you have.
Oh yeah, I'm Texan now. I'm fucking saying it, just in case anybody else has a problem with it. I've been here since '95.
I'm a native Texan, and I have no problem with it. Everybody else can eat a dick.
Okay, I've been here since '95, and I'm almost 38. So do the math. I've been here a long ass fucking time. We need to make a trip to Buc-ee's, by the way. I want candied nuts and some fudge. Thank you.
There's one in Terrell. It ain't that far.
I know. It's so great. Anyway.
One in Hutchins, too. That ain't that far either.
Oh, no, it's not.
I think it's Hutchins. Well, anyway.
I think there's one in Ennis as well.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Um, I because that's the biggest part of, because I have things that I want to accomplish now too, and there's mindsets. My thing is mindsets that I have to get over. And I have to be secure in my decision and my feeling, and not gaslight myself out of asking for help or saying this is something I want to do. I'm going to do it regardless of what anybody says. That video, you sent me a video, and all of our days are just running together. So recently, within the past 2 weeks, I would say, you sent me a video, and it was a woman saying that she told her husband that she is no longer healing for him, but she is healing for herself. And it's so weird how this death and how all of this grief in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, but especially more so since grandma and then, of course, mom, way more so since mom. But that, I've never was like, I'm going to do this. And then, I'm going to do it regardless of what anyone says, including you.
I've been telling you to do that.
That's
though.
scary.
I don't give a fuck. Don't worry about my opinion. You need to do what's good for you. I've told you that since the beginning. Granted, I didn't always support that, but
well, yeah, because it's kind of hard to get excited about your whatever it is when you're scared someone's going to be mad at you. It's hard to do the thing and you know what I mean?
No, I understand that.
And not saying you would or wouldn't have or whatever. It's just hard to get excited. But I was very, very serious when I said I don't want any more gifts. And I know that's not stopping anyone
I'm glad you understand that about me.
Yeah. And that's for everyone, because I know that people are going to want to buy me things, and I don't want them, though. So no one has to buy me anything. I don't want gifts. If all of this has taught me fucking anything, and it was mom specifically, not grandma, because grandma had a full life. She had a full ass fucking life.
Well, so did mom, if you really look at it.
She did.
She got to see all of her grandbabies.
She did.
So
she
far.
did.
I mean, their jury's still out on Sis and Aaron, but
there's this death specifically has opened parts of my brain where it's like, wait a minute. I'm 38. 61 isn't far.
Don't get me started on that part.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to bring up anxieties for you or because I'm almost 1,000% sure you've already had that thought.
Constantly.
That it's not something new that I'm planting in the anxiety mix of.
Nope.
But we have to live. And if that means moving an hour away or creating a list of stuff that you want to learn. I almost said but that you want to learn because we understand that this is finite.
And I want to spend as much time doing shit that I like to do and want to do as much as possible.
And that's why, even before mom passed, I started stepping away from social media. I started, and I mean, there are things where, of course, I still sit on the couch instead of working towards goals and things like that. Um, I'm, you know, it's a work in progress, but
It's supposed to be, though.
fair. That's fair. But like,
Because when are you done?
when you die,
That's my point. That's the finality.
yeah.
Everything else is just work in progress. That's how I'm having to look at it right now.
Because I know I can't ever trying to fix and change and implement everything all at once is so overwhelming. But there are certain things that I'm gonna have to like just do, like the monthly get-togethers. You're right; those we have to plan those
We have to try as much as possible. I know it's not going to work every month, but we have to.
because
That's all I want is just time.
all I want, and like I said, I think in the last episode we did, or maybe the one before that, like I've spent the vast majority of my life feeling out of place, that I didn't belong, that this, that, and the other, whatever, whatever, whatever. At this juncture in my life, yeah, I have built I have built a family, not on my own, obviously, but I have built a family. From Neish's point of view, I have a family that I have built, that I am a part of. But even in families, there are people who don't know each other. And if I'm choosing to be around these people, if I'm choosing to have people in my family, I also get to dictate who gets to know me and who doesn't get to know me. And I want to feel known and understood. And that's why I want to do all this. I mean, again, den mother, yada yada. That's just my lot in life, and I'm okay with that. But like, how many times have you told me you just don't feel like people understand you? How many people feel that they are alone, or that they're misunderstood, or that their mind is like no one else thinks the things that they do? That's not true. And that's why I want to get to know the family that we have built together.
I mean, there's a couple we know pretty well.
I mean, this is true. But I don't know, it's just I don't even have words. Like it's not surreal anymore. It is very real. It is very
I still feel sort of surreal.
yeah, there are still times where it's like, "Oh, I can't tell her about that." Oh, okay, never mind. Those kinds of things. Um I just I don't want the family to die with them.
I get that.
And if that means that I have to go out of my way to plan these things every month or however many times people want to do it, and the extra, and it's not a burden to me because I
I want to do it, but I get too overwhelmed trying to plan shit like that. I do. I just do.
I know you
Because I'm the
do.
first motherfucker that wants to do all this shit, but it just
I
I
don't know.
say it and then I'm just like, fuck, I didn't think about the logistics.
And it's so funny because you get so anxious about it,
Every
but
time. And I'm the one that always has the most fun.
and I'm usually the one that does most of the coordinating. So you literally have no reason to get
I'm
upset.
well the fuck aware.
Hey, at least you know.
I've never said I wasn't.
That's fair. Do you think that I know that you guys used to have like weekly things because all of y'all went to church, and then there was Sunday, there was a weekly thing, and unfortunately that doesn't work for us because we have people that live
Hours.
hours away, so that's, and that's fine. That's life. Life is going to happen. Everyone's going to have their own life. People are going to, people move states, cities, fucking whatever. But do you think that we have a connection with our people and that they would want to hang out with us enough where they could become as meaningful as the Sunday lunches that you grew up with, or those family get-togethers that you grew up with?
I think so.
I hope so.
Because I mean, look at like our relationship with Mandy and Gabriel. Like we get that vibe with them, with just them.
Yes.
Because it's all your bullshit's left at the door. It's us and the kids, being the four parents and then the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Like there's always laughing, maybe a little bit of shit talk here and there. Well, a lot of shit talk,
Maybe.
but I mean, there's not been one time that we've done that I didn't feel better after the fact.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
I know that I'm not a religious type. Um, but there are still things that I believe in when it comes to the Christian faith or the organized religions. Fellowship and community and you know,
That should just be everybody's mindset, period.
I agree.
Religion or not.
And in a time where literally everything seems so
Fucked. There's no other way to put it. Fucked.
this is
And I don't mean just for us. I mean the general
yeah,
world. Like everything's fucked right now.
this is the only way that I could think of to try to nurse heartbreak.
Well, this is a quote that I hung my hat on for the longest time. Be the change.
Yeah.
And be the change you want to see in the rest of the world. And like I can't do anything about the rest of the world. But I can control my world.
Yeah.
And I can try to spread as much love and happiness and togetherness or family value or however you want to put it. Like I can control that part.
Yeah.
Because I can impart that to you. I can impart that to my friends. I can impart that
Yeah.
to my kids, my cousins, like all of that. It can permeate through all of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. It's a macabre thing to say, but this is where my head's been at lately. Whenever everybody's having this conversation about me, I want it to be he always made sure we got together. He always made sure everybody was laughing. He always made sure everybody was fed. He always made sure he listened. He always made sure, like, that's what I want. And I know there's going to be fucked up stories because it's going to happen. I understand that. But that's not what I want. The fucked up stories to be the footnote,
That's fair.
not the page.
That's fair.
The page I want to be he was always there for us.
Yeah.
Regardless of who is saying it. I don't give a fuck who's saying it. And I've lost track of that with a lot, even with my family.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily happy about it, but at the same time, I felt like at the time it needed to happen. I guess to give me the perspective that I have now.
Yeah.
Where
I
it's
can
just
see that.
like, okay, if that hadn't happened, would I be so gung-ho about it now? About making sure and doing everything in our power to make sure that the kids know each other and that we all get together.
You know that I am one of the biggest, was one of the biggest, I don't know, big skeptic. Huge. The biggest. But I can say this now and not be completely weirded out that I'm saying it. But it had to happen this way. Everything.
Unfortunately.
Everything. Every second of every minute of every day, hour, week, month, year, decade. And as much as a lot of it, especially for us, was filled with pain and trauma and trauma and trauma and trauma. Unfortunately and fortunately, everything had to happen. So I guess I'm just grateful that we are where we are right now. I'm not grateful. I will never say I'm grateful for the shit that happened to me. Never. And no, it didn't make me stronger. But.
Well, that's debatable, but.
Yeah, well.
It is debatable because you
That's
don't
fair.
know.
That's fair.
That doesn't mean you have to you have to accept it. You don't have to like it
Yeah.
because
So,
it's already done.
Yeah. But I am grateful we are at this juncture now so we can start making those changes, so we can start building a village and hopefully being close to that village and having some sort of I don't know, sense of belonging, sense of
So we don't feel lost all the time.
yeah. And it's so weird because I never really had this. I mean, I did, but I didn't.
No, that's what I was telling you about all this shit. Is like I'm so afraid of dropping, and for the longest time, it was the exact opposite.
Yeah. Isn't that a mind fuck?
And it's just like I don't get it. I don't understand why now that I'm happy, I'm worried about it. And then it's like that's why, because you're happy.
Yeah.
You weren't happy before, so you didn't care.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you're happy and you care and you don't want to lose all that and you don't want everybody else to go through that same shit. And da 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 da. It's just
fucking
it's a
wild.
mind fuck for sure.
Yeah. That is a mind fuck. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I have had that same mind fuck because it's like a couple of years ago I was thinking about ending it. That's fucking wild. And now I'm like, can I do all the things? I need more time. I need more time to love and to give kindness.
And that's it. It's like I don't even give a shit about learning how to play guitar or all that shit. I give a fuck about what I was talking about.
How many cookouts we can have. How many fucking family dinners we can have. How many board games did we play together? How many stupid jokes did someone roll their eyes at? Or like that's the thing.
All of them. It's always all
That's
of them.
what it is. It's not.
I don't give a fuck about I mean, yes, I would like to live comfortably. I'm not going to argue that, but
Well, that's just because we live in a capitalistic society. But
no,
we're not
it has nothing to do with that. I just want to be comfortable.
Well, yeah, but
I don't give a shit about that. I give a shit about seeing my kids grow up, smiling and doing whatever they want to do with their lives, and knowing that they have the support structure behind them.
Excuse me.
To believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Like Kaylee believes in herself.
Yeah. I fucking love it. I'm here for it.
And it's just like in a couple of years ago, that was not the case.
Nope.
But she does now.
Yep.
Chris has a belief in himself. He's living life his way, and he is fucking happy for the most part. Yeah. He's still going through the adult shit and coming to grips with that, but
being an adult fucking sucks. We told him.
You look at Kaylee and Noe and Logan, and it's completely different than how Chris and Kaylee were at that age.
Yeah.
They already have that built into them. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen whenever they're Chris and Kaylee's age. Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's just like, dude, I'm so fucking stoked for this. And then it's just like, well, what if? I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, you cross that bridge if it ever comes up. When it comes up. Hopefully not anytime soon. But, like, it's too short. This time is too short. And I don't see the point in waiting to, like...
You're never going to be ready.
No. Never. And
for anything. I don't mean the inevitable. I mean in general.
I'm not purposefully... Okay, yeah, I am. You can't be scared of everything. I'm calling you out a little bit. A lot of it. A lot.
I'm terrified of everything. I haven't made any qualms about that. I know I am.
We can't let fear... We can't tell our children that we can't let fear...
I know. And that's why I'm not letting it stop me. I'm still doing the things even though I am living in that hell.
Yeah.
And it sucks and it's hard to do that because I just want to stay in my fucking shell and not do anything. But I know I can't do that. And it's not even for me, it's for everybody else.
It should be for you still. Because what kind of life?
I'm getting the benefit of it secondhand is how I look at it. Because I want everybody else to be able to enjoy my time, I guess. I don't know. And I know that sounds...
No, people like hanging out with you.
For whatever fucking reason. I don't understand that.
Whatever.
There's a lot of people that would agree with me. I'm just saying. But...
Oh, excuse me.
But that's why I do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't want any of the kids, mine or anybody else's, to be like, I don't think Uncle Robert liked me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want... That's the last fucking thing I want. I don't want my kids to think that. You know? And it's just like, no, I want you guys to know. Like, I fucking love every single one of you. I don't give a shit if you're my kid or my niece, my nephew. I don't give a shit. Married in, adopted in, fucking just showed up on the doorstep one day. I don't give a shit. If you're a part of this family, you're a part of my goddamn family. Yeah. And that's all that matters to me.
That's fair.
And that's what I want them to know. And that's why I'm not letting the fear part of it control me.
Yeah.
So like, because I want to be there for these things.
Yeah.
And I've prevented myself from doing that for a very long time because of my anxiety, because of my social whatever the fuck and all of that shit. I was like, I'm not letting that happen anymore. Whenever it comes to other shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm like,
Oh,
going out
sorry.
to shows and shit like that, I could give a fuck about. I've been to so many goddamn shows in the course of my life. Like, it doesn't bother me to miss a show anymore.
Yeah.
It bothers me to miss time with my nieces, my
I would
nephews, my
much.
sister, my cousins, my friends. Like,
Yeah.
that's what bothers me.
100% of the time, if I'm doing something that doesn't involve you guys, I would 100% of the time rather be spending time with you guys. And that it may be, I don't know, it may be weird for people to hear that, but like, it's important for me to be home when the kids go to bed. It's important for me to be home when they wake up in the morning. Shit like that. It's just,
Our priorities have changed.
yeah. A
And
lot.
on that note,
One more question before we wrap this thing up. Is there anything else? Because I know that we were talking about like the donation and stuff like that, continuing that part. Excuse me. Damn it. Sorry. Take this out. Is there anything else that you want to do that would make you feel better?
I don't know right now. It's too close. It's too fresh. My brain hasn't even adjusted yet, so I really don't know.
That's fair.
I think that the things that we are doing is a good step in that direction, though.
Yeah.
Because to me, Mom and Grandma's legacy was family.
Yeah.
And that's what we're focused on right now. We're focused on family.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Regardless of blood, biological, married in, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. We focus on our family. That's Mandy and Gabriel. That's Jimmy and Ariel.
Yeah.
That's, like, obviously Sis, Aaron, Vic, Katie, Rachel, Matt.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
That's everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter to me if you're blood in or blood out. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, if you're family to me, you know you're family to me.
Yeah.
Period.
I really think that socially, like universally,
And I got that from Mom.
relatives should be the ones you're related to, and family,
Well, I mean,
two totally different things.
for me, it's the same thing. Because my biological relatives are my family too. Like, I would do anything for them.
Okay, well,
You
for
know,
people like me.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not, I don't see a difference.
That's fair.
Like,
I know
regardless,
you don't.
it's family to me. And I've proven that because my family knows my family.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's like my family was the communal family. Jimmy's family was the communal family. Gabriel's family was the communal family. Like, we all grew up like that together.
Yeah.
Like, all of us called our moms, each other's mom's mom.
Yeah.
That's just how we did it.
Yeah.
And like grandma and grandpa, we're grandma and grandpa to Jimmy, Gabriel, you, Mandy, everybody.
Yep.
And I learned that from Mom because she had built this gigantic family network that we weren't blood related to. And even before, like, she got involved in the church with Jody and all that stuff, like, it was still like that with her and Don. It was Bernice and Rusty, and I grew up with Whitney and Tyler like my cousins. Yeah. And that's where I learned it first, was right there. Yeah. And that's why I never gave a shit. As like, that's Uncle Jimmy. Yeah. Can't really call him Uncle Gabriel because he ended up.
That's a different one.
He ended up with Mandy, so that part was odd. But I mean, it's just what it is.
Okay,
And
then.
he is Uncle Gabriel to Logan.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, those are two peas in a fucking pod.
Ugh. Well,
Anyway.
well,
But
with
yeah,
that being,
that's my thought. Is like, that's how we honor
then we
them.
will continue to focus on this family and make the best choices we can and be there for each other as much as we can. And I hope everyone that's listening kind of takes that and does that as well, because I think the world would be a better place if everyone did. So, till next time, guys. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you like this episode or know someone who would, please help us grow the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Keep up with all episodes on Buzzsprout or anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Tune in next week, folks. Same that time, same that channel.